In the next few minutes, what you're about to learn just might shock you, might scare you, but it might also forever change your life and how you interact with girls. In this world that we live in, there are rules that we must follow. Break some of these rules, and you will end up in a cold, dark place that serves terrible food. These are laws, and they are the visible rules. But there is a second set of rules, which aren't quite as obvious. Breaking this second set of rules won't put you behind bars, and in fact, it might actually help you to overcome one of the biggest problems that many guys struggle with, which is talking to girls. This hidden set of rules exists everywhere in society because it was created by society. To truly understand how this works, it is important to note the two main forms of communication used by humans. The first option is called indirect communication, and it's the primary form of communication used by girls, but also by most people in society. The entire purpose of indirect communication is simply to say something without actually saying it, and it's basically used as a safeguard to prevent someone from coming off as rude. While indirect communication can actually be incredibly useful in certain situations, in many cases, it can do much more harm than good, especially if you're a guy. Think about the last time that you got turned down for something. Maybe it was a girl you liked, and when you asked her out, she said something like, "You're cute, but I'm not interested." Most of the time, she won't actually say, "Sorry, I'm not attracted to you physically," but that's probably the real reason why she said no. And she basically said no without actually saying it. To fully understand how we should proceed, we must first understand the origins of both types of communication. Indirect communication traditionally is a feminine form of communication, and it is the default setting for most girls. Now, direct communication is the total opposite, and up until the last few decades, it was the primary form of communication used by guys. Today, however, indirect communication is gradually becoming the default setting for many guys. And this is where problems can arise. When talking to girls, and even other guys, so many dudes get it wrong. Think about it like this. Imagine you're in a restaurant, and the waitress asks you if you're ready to order. Many guys will say, yes, can I have the chicken Alfredo please? And later, they act surprised when the waitress isn't attracted to them. Remember, how you say something, or the tone of voice that you use, is even more important than what you actually say. When the guy says, "Can I have the chicken Alfredo?" he does it in a way that makes him sound as if he's asking the waitress permission to have it. Now imagine, once again, the waitress asks, "What would you like to eat today?" And instead of asking if you can have the chicken Alfredo, you say, "Yes, I'll take the chicken Alfredo." Using both the tone of your voice and the actual words, you're not asking permission. You're basically telling her that you're going to take the chicken Alfredo, whether she likes it or not. It is important to remember that attraction is an impulse, so girls and guys have zero control over it. When you speak directly and powerfully, you are pressing that little attraction button that is inside most girls. Think about the guy who plays in Thor in the Avengers movies and how he speaks in those movies. Most of the time, he is very direct in his communication, especially with the ladies, and he acts as if everything that he says is important. And the simple act of simply believing that every word that you have to say is important actually makes it important. This is the complete opposite of the way girls talk, and it is the most attractive way that you can speak around girls. But the benefits of powerful, direct communication are not just with girls. Speaking directly and powerfully will gain you respect from other men, especially from those who primarily communicate indirectly. For example, imagine you're in the movie theater with a girl and she says, "Brr, it's cold in here." Chances are she's indirectly hinting at you to let her wear your jacket. Remember, direct communication is masculine, like a warrior, and indirect communication is feminine. And the more feminine a man appears, the less attraction most girls will feel towards him, except for girls who are more masculine. Since girls are, from an evolutionary standpoint, more vulnerable than guys, they tend to avoid conflict, which is the driving force behind their indirect communication. Now, it's possible to flirt with girls using indirect communication, but the majority of the interaction should be using direct, straightforward communication. The funny thing is, girls actually want guys to talk to them like this, but they expect that most guys won't. And this is a huge advantage for the guys who do it right. Direct communication is one of the main traits of a dominant male, and it is one of the most important things for showing confidence and assertiveness. The key when speaking directly with not just girls, but also guys, is to be optimistic with whatever it is you're saying. In other words, the tone of your voice should sound as if you're 100% confident that the other person is going to comply or agree with what you said. By simply having positive expectations from the start, any given situation is more likely to end in your favor. And the same is true for negative expectations. A great example of direct communication is, I want you to go to the dance with me tonight, instead of, will you go to the dance with me? Asking a girl out indirectly is cute in a Disney movie, but it's not the optimal choice for real life. All that you have to do to begin speaking in a direct, attractive way is start any sentence where you're asking for something with the letter I, and use more statements than questions. When you state something to somebody as if it's a fact, it shows that you have confidence and courage because you are standing up for something that could be met with disapproval by everyone around you. So many guys in today's society speak indirectly because of an invisible rule that says it's the polite thing to do. But the truth is that oftentimes, the most polite way to speak or handle a situation is also the most unattractive way for a man to do so. Talking is something that we spend most of our time doing. So the sooner you can start talking more like a warrior, the sooner girls and guys will start to see you as one. If you've spent most of your life speaking indirectly and non-powerfully, then yeah, it's going to feel weird when you get out there and start practicing it. Much the same way a bike felt totally foreign the first time you tried to ride it. But feeling uncomfortable is good, because it's the only time that you're actually growing as a person. When you see a big movie in the theater, you only see the finished product. What you don't see is the repetition and the countless takes that were required for the finished product. Girls don't care if you used to be a shy, insecure guy in the past, in the same way that you would still be attracted to a girl who used to be incredibly overweight, as long as she's at a healthy, attractive weight now. All that matters is who you are now and who you can grow to become. And if you're into business, making money, or success, be sure to check out my second channel, Business Secrets. The link is in the description. And with that said, you guys are awesome. And as always, until next time, thanks for watching.